Hello, everyone. So last time we stopped off at this point where we're about to choose a difficulty for this battle. So hopefully now you're a bit more familiar with how you should choose your lineup, how can you maximize your team damage bonus while minimizing your opponents, how you can avoid those minus 5% and get the plus 25%. Okay. So now we have to choose the difficulty. Now there's a lot of things that go into choosing the difficulty. Now first of all, the main reasons why you might want to increase the difficulty. So when I press start battle, I get two options. I can go either easy or hard, and all that just means is with easy you can choose up to 200%, with hard you can choose up to 500%. With this version, there's the beta version of the game right now where you can go up to 1,000%. But that doesn't matter because we're probably gonna stay here. So there's two main reasons you wanna increase the difficulty. The main one is, as you notice, when I increase the damage of my opponents, I'm also getting more alpha. So the main reason is if you wanna collect alpha. The second reason is if you wanna be in the top 10 leaderboard of each week. So there's a leaderboard where if you land in the top 10 of a certain week, you're going to be getting a gift. You're going to be getting a reward. So place in the top 10 and receive a prize at the end of the week. Currently, the prize that they're giving out is, well, a Malcor. That's why I said it's a legendary. It's currently very rare to get it. I was lucky enough to land 1 week and get a Malcor. So if you land at the top 10, you're going to be getting a Malcor, and I think this is the fourth week of this whole reward thing. So currently there should be maybe only about 30 Malcors out there, and at the end of this week there'll be 40. At least there will be 40 between in the hands of the players. So that's a really cool reward since legendaries usually tend to have the best damage and well they're pretty valuable, especially if they're rare. So you might want to get one of those, and if you want to get those you're gonna have to go really with high difficulties. Like you'd notice here, currently in the leaderboard we have 505%. I think that's the most that's ever been recorded. Then we have 500. A bunch of those has already been happened. Da, da, da. So before this week, or maybe actually even before today or yesterday, you could only go up to 500%. But since last week a bunch of people got 500%, they increased it to 1,000%. You go to the all-time difficulties. I was able to get for one of the weeks 500%, which was the max, and that's why was able to get the Malcore. That's a really good reason why you want to increase the difficulty. Another reason is, as we just mentioned, like the alpha. That's mainly the only two reasons. But what affects your decision uh, for uh, for the alpha? Because for the top 10, it's pretty straightforward. You'll just increase the difficulty to as much as you can with the best lineup and hope for the best. But for BG Alpha, there's a lot more things that come into mind. For example, the pool size might affect how much you wanna raise the percentage. Like currently, right now, the pool is pretty good, almost 14,000. That's the reason why you might want to increase the difficulty. Maybe take a chance. If it's less than 10,000, you might not increase it by much. If it's like 16 or 17,000, then the reward of you getting a lot of BG Alpha might be worth the risk. Now, again, for the main reason of you want to gain alpha, usually the difficulty you might be going with, I don't think it's going to go above 200%. If your main objective is just to get as much alpha as you can, because anything above that, the risk becomes way too much. So I'd say even maybe 175 would be a really good difficulty if you can manage that on a consistent basis. Anything more than you're risking it too much. Okay, so how much difficulty would I wager here? Since I have a little bit of experience in this game right now, I know that I am facing Prawn, Beak, and Taka. Those are common beasts, and I'm attacking them with a legendary and two rares, so my damage is going to be pretty good. But in case you're not all that familiar with damages, well,
You can check this website here. So this was made by one of the community members. Their name is Scarbor. Hopefully I'm saying that right. So they made this website that has a lot of cool stuff. So for example, the first thing here you'll see in front of you is just a breakdown of all the current beasts that we have. So each beast, what's their min and max damage range, their hit chance. So something we might have mentioned before, not everybody has a 100% chance that they will always hit. A Crocodile has a 95%. Volcanus. So remember Volcanus, they are a common beast. They have a fire and a fire. Their range is pretty good for a common, like between 50 and 70 damage. That's pretty good for a common, but they only have a 90% chance of hitting. They also have a 20% chance of getting a critical hit, and their critical damage is 150%. So that's pretty standard. That's pretty good. They have a high chance of getting that, but again, they might miss. And the worst beast is Zektir. They have an 85% chance only of hitting. Everybody else has a 100% chance of always hitting. So these things might come into play when choosing the difficulty. There's also splash damage. There's a lot of things here, so I'll probably leave that for a future video where I go in depth with these, especially splash damage. That might need a little bit of explanation. But for you, you have this godsend ability or this feature, which is a simulator. So with the simulator, you can actually go ahead and simulate the battle that you're going to try and do. So if I want to go ahead and do what I have in front of me, so there's a prawn, beak, and attack. Prawn, and we have a beak and attack. So here I'm putting the enemy team, and then I'll put my team. I want to go with a Malcor, Aquinas, and I always forget my team, Apine. Okay. And you can simulate this. You can first choose the difficulty, how much you want to increase it, and you can choose how many simulations you want to run that. You have a max of 500 simulations, I think you can do. And the difficulty right now, as we mentioned, it can go up to 1,000%. Now you do have if you like you're using the free version, you do have only 5,000 simulations every 24 hours, so you might be want to careful how you spend those. Or you can send something to the wallet of Scarbor, and like they'll give you access where you can get a whole bunch more simulations, so you can read all the details here. But anyway, what difficulty am I going to go for? I think I have a lot of damage here, so I'm going to go with a 200%. And might not be something I do too often. Like 200% is really high. So if we go ahead and simulate this, first of all, notice here with the team damage bonus. So we get three things. With the team damage bonus, my team bonus is getting a 70%. So remember that was part of our calculation last time. Okay, so the prawn is getting a 25%, beak is 25%, taka. So I'm getting an advantage on all of these this much. I'm getting for the prawn a minus 5% though because of ineffectiveness. Because if you remember, Malcorm has fire, it's ineffective against prawn. That gets me a minus 5%. As for their team, I'm only my pine gets me a minus 5%, but this is a positive because it's going to their team. They get a minus 5% because their prawn with water might attack my pine, which has electricity. Cool. So this is like a breakdown. If you ever want to test if you have the effectiveness and effectiveness large, you can just do a quick one simulation here to try it out. But for the battle summary, I basically just did this battle 500 times and I won 472 of them. So that gives me about a 94% chance of winning, which is really good, especially since I'm doing a 200% difficulty battle. Now I can go more. I think I could probably 225 might get me, so 225% might get me also pretty good amount. But so let's see how much it gets me 86%, which is really still good. However, 200% is still a lot. I usually like to play it safe. As long as it's above 90% or even 95%, I'll go with that. I feel like if I consistently winning is better than sometimes winning big, sometimes losing a lot.
Okay, so with 86%, imagine it's like you're opening a pack. Like there's a and like you have a 14 or 15% chance of getting a legendary. How much do you want that 15% chance to like work? Well, right now there's a 15% chance that I might lose this battle. So I think consistently when we're talking about like your main focus is getting BG alpha, I want to go with the safer option. So I'll go with 200%. We'll do the battle. There's this is just simply simulations. Like there might or I might always lose this, but it'll give you a good idea of what you want to do. So we're going with the 200%. We'll see what we'll do. And another reason, so okay, we hadn't won this. When you get this like yellow orangish background or border, that means you won. When it's red, it means you lose. Like I usually focus on this before I focus here if they put whether my username won or Beast Garden won. But another reason why you might want to try to get a higher percentage is for your beasts. Like you notice, I just mentioned like I used a legendary, I used two rares. Usually for your beasts that are pretty they're pretty strong, you want them to always consistently win because that way they'll get experience. Later there's something called evolution, and you're gonna need beasts with experience in order to do that. So that's why with at least legendaries or epics, I try to always make them win because to me for that it's more important to get experience rather than 95% chance is great. And we got 44 alpha here. Mm, okay, so for example, my Malcore attacked the Taka, which is great because fire is effective against. I think I was very lucky because remember when we said it's all random how they attack. It happened to be that my beasts all attacked the correct, the most beneficial counterpart. Like my Malcore with fire attacked nature, my Aquinas with electricity attacked prawn, and then finally my Pine with nature attacked beak. All what we wanted to happen. And then they also attacked randomly. Now, I'm a bit sad that we didn't get to see like two beasts attack the same beast just so I can show you that that might happen. But that's fine. So we'll close this and we'll enjoy our alpha. Okay. So for example, here now, and I'm using the normal version of the game, so I only see a level for my beast. So as I get more experience, the beast will level up. But in the beta version, I think they show you how much experience you get. So maybe I'll make a video about the beta version in the future. Okay. So this simulation is really important. I'd advise you to use it mainly to get an idea to make sure like you're getting the effective bonuses and an effective correctly and get an idea of fights. So maybe we'll do one more. Okay, which one do you want to do? Let's do this one since we already talked about it before. So I think Heartburn here might be the best because with Zektir, I attack with nature, but I'll give them a bonus because of Beak. And Pine, I already used Pine, so yeah, Heartburn might be the best here. Then I want to go with, well, I'm probably just gonna go with my strongest options. You might not always want to do that because you'd like to spread out your beasts. Well, let's go with strong ones here. Okay, let's put prawn. Why not? Why not? So Heartburn, Aquinas, and prawn is gonna be my team, and the enemy team is Croc, Kalima, Beak. So hopefully, as you use this more and more, you'll be able to get away with it. Like the purpose of this calculator is try to maybe see if you're right. Like if you can at least make the correct lineup, then you can try to get a good percentage. So I think 150% might be good here. No, maybe a bit more. How about 175? I feel that might be good. Their croc is pretty strong. 75%. So you remember when I told you like you only need one nature attack to get the 75% bonus, and it's shown right here. And then we have these two minus 5% because we put two waters and
fire is weak against water, so we get -5% for this and -5% for this. These two -5% are good for us. And actually, again, pretty good, 98%. Might even increase this to 200 as well. Okay, 91%. That's really pushing it. I sound so stingy, right? But again, because it's the hard one. But hey, let's go with 200%. You'll appreciate maybe going with the safe route once. I'll actually try to show you it with a Zect here. We'll try to see it with a Zect here. I also like to choose a battle where I don't get such a high percentage, because usually you might not use 200% all that often, and you'll see the scores are really close. So if like one of their beasts crit, I would have lost this one. Like if Kalima has a high crit chance, if they would have done that here, I would have lost this one. Okay, let's do one where I actually want to use a Zect here, because I want to show you something. So here I think can't use a Zect here. There's a beak. Beak. Okay, we could use a Zect here. So I'll use Zect, and I'll use a Stratus because I want the electricity, and Earth is weak against wind, by the way, so far this is great. This actually might be a high damage, which I don't want. Finally, we'll use either a Cecilus. I've never even tried to pronounce this guy's name correctly, I just call it Cecilus. Either a Cecilus or a Wolpe. I'm actually going to save the Cecilus because you don't always want to go with your strongest. Cecilus is the only, I think, beast that's a perfect counter to the Malcor. If you don't have a Cecilus, like with Malcor, you're kind of screwed if you get it in the lineup. So I'll go with Wolpe here. Okay, so let's see this. Prawn, Kalima, and Pebble. Where are you? Prawn, Kalima, and Pebble. We'll go with Zektier, Stratus, and Whoopie Boy. Where are you, Stratus? Okay. So we're gonna be getting a 70% team damage bonus. Can you see why? Obviously, we had the 75% because nature against magic, lightning against water, and maybe I didn't mention this before, but wind is strong against earth. That's why we get a 25%. But lightning is weak against earth. That's why we get a -5%. And they get a -10% because we have two winds and they have an earth attack. Regardless of how many earth attacks they have, we have two winds, so they get a -10%. Okay, now for here, I think maybe 150 would be good. Might be pushing it a bit. Okay, so 150, we're getting a 90%. But notice something very important about this. I'm getting a 90% chance of winning, even though, if you remember, I go to beasts. Zektir has an 85% chance of hitting. Zektir only has an 85% chance of hitting. So technically, there is a chance that Zektir might miss and I'd still win this fight. So you can actually scroll down and see all the different simulations. Okay, so I lost this one here. Zektir attacked. It had a 0 damage, so I actually missed. But I still lost. But since I have a 90% chance of winning, that means, hey, Zektir could miss and I could still win this one. Wonder if we could actually find one. Is right here. Zektir actually missed and I still won with this simulation. That's why, again, playing it safe, winning consistently, you'll, for me at least, I'm just showing you maybe what's the best way to choose the damage. It's up to you to actually how much you want to choose. Like I'm actually going to go with 145 just to increase this a little bit. We'll go ahead and go with 145 or like 140. Like 10, I'm only losing 10% of from 150, but I'll be getting different odds. I really hope that Zektir miss and I win. I do actually have that has actually happened before, and I did share it on the Discord. Okay, Zektir didn't miss, but hey, we win. But look, something really cool. Both they have two teams, two beasts that were crit, and I still won. So that's really good. Okay, I think that's good enough for now. Like I can keep going on and on forever on all the different on all more and more battles, but try to use this to get an idea of what you want to do. Now, maybe one last thing about the top 10. If you want to go for the top 10, then you're hoping for fights where you have three Takas against you, or three Volks against you, or maybe three Kalimas. So in this battle, I have two Kalimas against me, one Taka. So this is actually a good battle for me, and I'm actually saving it for the top 10. I tried this before. I think if I go with Malcor, Heartburn, and maybe Aquanist, or something like that, that gets me the best chance of winning. I tried it at 500%. I get a 10% chance of winning at 500%, which is really good when you're talking about high chances. Like, for example, this one. Let's say here I want to go with 300%. See how this does. The battle that we just did. I dropped to 10% at 300% damage. Could you imagine how much if I go to 400 or more? So that's why. So what about 250%? Like you might like the style where you choose a certain percentage where it becomes sort of like a flip coin, like a 50%. Uh, you either win it, you win big, or like you lose it. It depends on your playing style, however you prefer to do it. So at 250%, it's 34%. What about 200? I'm wasting all my simulations on nothing here, so never do this. 200%, a 74% chance. Like okay, maybe 3 out of 4 times I'd win, but really, if this was a 25% chance to get a legendary, people would love it. Imagine it's a 25% chance of losing. So I'd go with a lower difficulty. Okay. I think that's gonna be it for now. If you're enjoying these tutorials, if you have something you'd like me to do, let me know. Maybe I'll make a video about it. I'm interested in doing something about a video about a battle pass. That'll be cool because I see a lot of people asking about it. Maybe something about the auction house. I went over it briefly. I'd like to talk about that. So yeah, maybe I also like to do something on the beasts. So maybe a little bit in-depth analysis on, like we said, the splash damage, critical damage, all that. What are some maybe cool beasts you might want to get, and so on. So if you're interested in any of that, or if you have anything you'd like to see, let me know. Okay, so thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Let's see my stats for this week. 44 plays, 43 wins. That's goes with my type of play. Actually, the one that I lost, I think I had a Volcanist that actually missed. So and I didn't have enough a chance of winning that. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.